What if I told you that one of the biggest silent killers of marriage is something we rarely talk about? It's not money, it's not intimacy, it's not even communication. It's scorekeeping. Yes, keeping a runny tally of your spouse mistakes, failures, or shortcomings. But here's the truth: real love, God's love, doesn't keep score. Instead, it rejoices in the truth. Today, we're going to unpack what that means and how we can shift your marriage from keeping score to keeping it alive. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Marriage Investors. And I'm Marcellus, and today we're going to dive into a principle that can change the way you think about your marriage. One foundation comes from Corinthians 13:5 and 6. It says, love does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. Keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. Think about the last part for a moment. Keep no records of wrong. In other words, love does not keep score. Too often in marriage, we slip into this silent, editive mode where we keep a mental checklist. We think about who apologized last, who forgot the trash, who didn't pay enough attention last week. But here's the problem: scorekeeping isn't love, it's resentment in disguise. Let me just paint a picture. Imagine your marriage is like a scoreboard in a basketball game. Every foul, every turnover, every missed shot goes up on the board. The only problem is, in marriage, there's no winners when we keep score. If you win the argument, you still lose intimacy. If you prove your spouse was wrong, you might lose their trust. So that's why I think Paul can remind us in Corinthians that love doesn't delight in pointing out the failures, but it rejoices in the truth. And the truth of the matter is that our spouses are valuable. They're precious to us as husbands, and we should honor that. But I'll be honest with you. Early in our marriage, Val and I had the moments of scorekeeping. I would say things like, well, I did this for the family, so why didn't you do that for me? But the Holy Spirit kept reminding Marcellus, love is not a transaction, it's a covenant. And when I shift from keeping track of the wrongs to celebrate her strength, our whole relationship started to change. Now, let's flip the script. Instead of keeping a record of wrongs, Paul says love rejoices in the truth. And what that means, you focus your mind and your heart on what is good, honorable, and praiseworthy in your spouse. That's where in Philippians 4:8 and 9 comes in. Paul says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things. And when you apply this to your marriage, it means asking, as I choose to think good thoughts about my spouse, am I dwelling on their strengths instead of their weaknesses? Am I celebrating their efforts instead of magnifying their mistakes? Because what we focus on expands. If you focus on the flaws, you will see more flaws. If you focus on God's truth about your spouse, their worth, their value, their unique gifts, you see more that can shine through. So, how do we move from keeping the score to rejoicing in the truth? Let me give you some practical steps. Number one, catch those negative thoughts early. Those thoughts you think, she never or she always stop, and replace it with one thing you appreciate instead. Number two, speak life daily. Words create the atmosphere. Tell your spouse something you admire about them every day. It doesn't have to be something big or gigantic or grand or anything like that, but it can be simple, as I love the way you encourage our kid. Number three, practice grace. When mistakes happen, and they will, believe you, believe me, they will. Remind yourself that love keeps no records of wrong. Don't bring up the last month issues in today's disagreement. And we're going to move on. Number four, celebrate win together. Rejoice in the truth by calling out the good. If your spouse makes a small effort, acknowledge it. Gratitude builds that connection. Number five, pray for your mindset. Philippians 4 reminds us we can train our minds. Ask God daily, Lord, help me think truly noble and loving thought about my spouse. Let me share a quick story from my journey. There were times early in our marriage when money was tight, stress was high. I caught myself keeping score. I'm working all these long hours. Why isn't she doing this? But then I realized my attitude was poisoning the love between us. So I made a shift. Instead of looking for what was missing, I started looking for what Valerie was giving. Her support, her prayers, her presence, and that changed everything. And when you change the way you see your spouse, you change the way you love your spouse. So here's the challenge for you this week. Take the Philippians 4:89 and apply it directly to your spouse every day. Think of one true, noble, pure, lovely, admirable thing about them. You can also go ahead and write it down, or you can say it out loud. Stop keeping score of what they don't or do, and start rejoicing in what God is doing in them. Because love is not about tallying wins and losses. Love is about building up, covering over, and rejoicing in the truth. And when you do that, you not only is invested in your marriage, but this reflects the true love of Christ. So thank you for joining me today at Marriage Investors. Subscribe to this channel. Share this video with other couples. And remember, your marriage is worth the investment. Let's stop keeping score and start rejoicing in the truth. Until next time, stay connected, stay encouraged, and keep that love that can last forever.